I'm explaining a film from 2019 titled In the Tall Grass. Spoilers ahead. Enjoy the content. The story starts with a girl Becky and her brother Cal, two siblings, were on a trip to San Diego. They halted for a while to relax by an ancient abandoned church with a large meadow in front of it. Becky, who was also pregnant, felt nauseated and wanted to quit. They meant to continue their journey once everything was good. Becky heard a small child scream for help from the grass field just in front of the church, so they dashed inside to look for him. Becky then contacted 911 in case there was an emergency, but the phone abruptly terminated owing to a lack of service. Meanwhile, Tobin's voice, the youngster from earlier, grew progressively distant. Cal continued to call him until he vanished deeper into the grass. Cal then went in pursuit of Becky, terrified that something bad might happen to his sister. Cal pleaded with Becky to scream so he could hear her voice. Even though they weren't moving, their voices appeared to fade away. They then jumped at the same time and it seemed that they were only a few meters away, but when they jumped a second time, for some reason they were even further apart, so they panicked.
1, 2, 3. Ugh.
Becky! Becky!
Until the sun set, they were still trapped in the grass. Suddenly a man named Ross appeared and approached Becky, saying that he could take Becky out of this place. Becky was hesitant at first, but once Ross confessed that he was Tobin's father, she trusted him because Ross was also looking for his child and Natalie, his wife. Tobin abruptly appeared in the midst of Cal's sorrow, claiming that he would never be able to leave the grass field. Tobin also described how he was able to enter the grass because he and his parents had previously heard someone call for help from within the grass, which was exactly what Cal had experienced. While he was in the grass and separated from his parents, Tobin found a mysterious large rock in the middle of the grass field. Tobin and Cal approached the stone, hoping to know Becky's current location because it can tell anybody who touches it about the grass. Cal then attempted to touch the stone as instructed by Tobin when he heard Becky scream and raced after her to locate her. Travis, Becky's boyfriend, searches the next morning for Becky and Cal, who have been missing for days. Travis then came to a halt in front of the church after finding Cal's car parked there. Travis then noticed Becky's book resting in the middle of the road. Travis then strolled into the grass till nightfall. Suddenly Tobin appears, saying that he knows where Becky is. Travis follows him until they find Becky, who has died as Tobin disappears. The next day, Travis realized that he couldn't get out of the grass. Travis called for help after hearing Tobin and his parents' voices, who had just arrived in the church parking lot. Tobin's dog, Freddy, barked and rushed onto the grass, where he was joined by Tobin, Ross, and Natalie. Despite the fact that they had been stranded in the grass for days and Becky had died, Becky and Cal showed up at the church the next day. To make a long story short, they all came together at the same time. Cal was surprised as to how Travis was in this situation with them. Travis stated that at the time, he was looking for Becky and Cal, who had been missing for months. They were all confused, but they had to think about how to find a way out of the time loop in the mysterious grass. Travis then carried Tobin so he could see the way out to the church. Instead of finding a way out, they sank deeper into the grass. Evening approached, and Becky, who was pregnant, began to feel dizzy and out of breath. Thankfully, Ross arrived and saved her. Ross then said that he had discovered a way out of the grass and urged everyone to follow him. Instead of removing them from the grass, Ross guided them all to the massive rock. Natalie yelled and urged everyone to back off as Cal was about to touch the stone again, because everything Ross had said was a lie. Natalie had previously indicated that Ross would harm her. Becky immediately asked everyone to leave because she felt there was something strange about Ross. Before they left, Ross said that the stone could lead them to the right path. Travis attempts to stop him, but Ross appears to be already enraged, at which point he goes insane and easily strikes Travis till he falls. What's worse, he pulled the head of Natalie, his own wife, separate from her body. This wasn't Ross' true self, he had been possessed. When Travis and the others observed the terrible event, they escaped to an empty building. Cal and Travis fought because Cal didn't want Travis to be a member of his family because he had gotten Becky pregnant. Travis, on the other hand, attempted to persuade Cal that this time was different and that he was ready to assume responsibility for his future kid and Becky. Ross came in and busted down the door without anyone seeing, so they all took cover on the top roof. They then saw Freddy, who was previously missing. The dog was seen walking towards the church via a path that was directly connected to the church. As they were leaving, Travis suddenly slipped, but unfortunately Cal deliberately let go of his hand, so Travis fell unconscious. When Ross started following Becky, Cal took him and Tobin away to the hole. Becky hesitated to go because she wanted to look for Travis in the grass. Cal chased her, but Ross appeared from behind, sparking a pursuit. Ross easily found Cal and immediately attacked him until he died.
And they all led back to me.
Meanwhile, Travis began to regain consciousness and he immediately slid into the grass to look for Becky and Tobin. Travis finds Becky, expresses regret for his actions, and resolves to be a better man in the future. Ross emerged and ambushed Becky immediately. Becky, thankfully, was able to assault Ross by sticking a pair of scissors into his eye and fled. Suddenly strange creatures with grass faces appeared and attacked Becky. The creatures managed to take Becky to the large rock. Becky phoned Cal, implying that the person who had called Becky earlier in the incident was herself. The earth immediately split apart, revealing a gaping hole filled with strange crawling animals, who sought to pull Becky into the hole. Becky attempted to flee by crawling out of there, despite the fact that her stomach was aching and constricting, but she had exhausted her strength and was stranded. Meanwhile, Travis spotted Becky, who was limp, after arriving at the rock. Travis then tried to calm Tobin, while whispering, the boy said that they were being watched by Ross. Travis shouted challenging Ross to a duel. Sure enough, Ross suddenly appeared and immediately beat him until he fell. After a protracted battle, Ross overcame Travis and swiftly threw Tobin off the edge. Becky abruptly arrived from behind and blinded Ross in the eye. Travis used the circumstance by repeatedly bashing Ross's head against the rock, then punching him until Ross died. When Travis discovered Becky was also dead, he grew anxious and touched the rock until he saw all the maps in the grass field and sought a way out. Travis takes Tobin somewhere and wants to save him so he can stop the time loop in the cursed grass. Before Tobin left, Travis gave him a necklace that Becky had previously worn. After a goodbye, Travis tells Tobin to go into a hole connected to the church across the street. When Tobin walked out of the church, he observed Cal's car parked on the side of the road near the grass, so he ran up to them and ordered them not to step into the grass no matter what they heard or what happened. Tobin also handed her the necklace Travis had given him, which was the same one she had. Becky stopped Cal from approaching the grass because the huge, verdant meadow struck her as unexpected. When Cal is about to leave for San Diego, Becky changes her mind and decides to return so she may see Travis again. This indicates that the time cycle in the grass has finished because Travis will not go looking for them. Meanwhile, Travis, who is trapped in the grass, is happy to hear that Tobin is safe and has met Becky and Cal, so he can rest in peace forever in the grass, as the film ends. That's all the recap. Don't forget to give us likes, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support would be appreciated. I hope to see you next time.